Go, guys. Here we go. Gonna do 55. Gonna do 55 again. Okay? And I should be coming up here pretty quick. Just get ready. I'm waiting for it to pop up. Here it goes. Okay. Gonna start at 55 again. So triangle has two sides. So we have a triangle. It has two sides. One measures 10. One measures 12. Do it this way. Maybe it'll make me feel better. The angle opposite 10 is 50 degrees. So I could take the sine of 50 over 10 equals, and we'll call this over here angle A, the sine of A over 12 times by 12. Take the inverse sine, and again, make sure that you're in degree mode here. So I take my calculator. Oh, my battery is low. Go ahead and plug it in real quick so it doesn't die on us. Okay, so now from here, I'm going to take second sine, and I'm going to take 12 times sine of 50, and the parenthesis for the sine of 50 divided by 10, and parenthesis for the whole. That gives us 66, so angle A is 66.817 degrees. Again, this could be a ambiguous angle. So we need to take and subtract that from 180. So it's either that or it's 113.183 degrees. So it's one of those two angles. Now, let's say it's the 66.817. So to get this angle up here, I would add those two together. So 50 plus 66.817 and subtract that from 180. And I get this angle up here would be 63.183. So we'll call this angle B. So angle B then will be 63.183. Now, to find this side down here, we'll call it X. I would take the sine of 63.183 over X, set it equal to sine of 50 over 10. Take both sides and flip them. Gives X over sine of 63.183 equals 10 over sine of 50 times by the sine of 63.183 times by the sine of 63.183. In my calculator, I would take 10 times sine 63.183 divided by sine 50, and I get 11.650. Now, because it can be an ambiguous angle, I should use this one here too. So in other words, I'm going to do this exact same thing, but instead of the sine of 63.183, I'm going to use the sine of 113.183. By doing all the same math again, flipping, multiplying, I would here get X equals, so I'll be honest, I just did second enter, and I'm going to come back in, I'm going to change this right back here from 63.183 to 113.183, and I get 11.9999, so in other words 12. So either the answer is 11.65 with that being 63 degrees, or the answer is 12 with that being 113. I did that wrong. If this one was 113, then we add those up, subtract from 180, that would be smaller. Give yourself another class ticket. Let's just not worry about 55. I'm done with it. We're just going on. Hope you guys are okay with that. If not, too bad. Just kidding. Still love you. Okay, you borrow $1,500 with a 17.99 interest rate, compounded quarterly. Okay, if you don't pay anything for 6 years, how much money will you owe at the end of these 6 years? So, f of x or f of t is going to equal 1,500 times 1 plus 0.1799 over 4 to the 4t. Now they're going to say t is 6, so we want to find f of 6. So you just take 1,500 times 1 plus 0.1799 over 4 to the 4 times 6. Plugging it all in to our handy dandy calculator, we get 1,500 parentheses 1 plus 0.1799 divided by 4 to the power of 24. You would owe 4,311.544. Okay? 57. You invest 300 at a 3% interest rate compounded continuously. That's e to the 0.03t. What's the value investment after 5 years? So it would be 300 e to the 0.03 times 5. So 300 second ln 0.03 times 5. And you would get $348.55. 58. State the figure obtained when rotating a right triangle with height 8 units and base 4 about its base. So here's a right triangle. Height is 8. Base is 4. You're going to rotate it about its base this way. So in other words, it's going to look something like that. It's going to be a cone. And then it says, what's the volume? So the volume of that cone is going to be 1/3 pi r squared. So therefore pi times 8 squared times the height, which is 4. So I take my handy dandy calculator. Well, before I do that, I'll just take 4 times 64 divided by 3. Oh dear. So 4 times 64 is 256. So that'd be 256 pi over 3, or totally approximated, we get 268.083. And then, of course, that is in units cubed, or cubic units. Okay? For 64. 64 says, what's the area of triangle STW shown to the nearest tenth? So remember, if I have two sides with the angle in between, to find its area, I just take 1/2, 8.7 times 12.4 times the sine of 73. So I just take the two sides, half of the two sides, so 0.5 times 8.7 times 12.4 times the sine 73. And you get 51.583. It's the nearest tenth. That'd be 51.58. And that's going to be in whatever units squared. Areas in square units. 65. Here we go. We're on a roll. We're on the last page. Yeah, baby. Let's get her done. Height of a filing cabinet is 1/2 times its width. Let's draw this filing cabinet out. Here's the filing cabinet. It says the height is 1.5 times the width. So that's 1.5 W. The depth is twice the width, 2 W. And that's W. It says the volume is that. So if I take W times 2 W times 1.5 W, it's got to equal 12,288. Now, 2 times 1.5 is 3, so this is 3W cubed equals 12,288 divided by 3. Get W cubed is 4,096. Now if I take the cube root of that, so my calculator, I'm going to take 4,096 to the power of 1 divided by 3, because 1 divided by 3 is the same thing as the cube root. I get 16. So W equals 16. That means 2W's got to be 32, and then the height would have to be 24. Okay, done. So 16 by 32 by 24. Restaurant owner wants to find out average number of dishes ordered. So she decides to collect and analyze every 5th receipt. What type of sample is this? This is a stratified sample. Is it representative of the population of interest? Starting at 6, she wants to find out average number of dishes ordered at each table served on Friday evenings, their busiest time. I would think that'd be pretty good. It's not quite random, but it's not too bad. So that's a pretty good sampling of the population. Researchers want to know the effect of vitamin C as a dietary supplement. Is the study a survey, observational, or experiment? It says they randomly assign subjects to take one 1,000 milligram tablet, and then they test blood pressure of all subjects. Oh, and then the other half of the subjects take one placebo. So this is an experiment broken into different groups. Choose a random sample of 5-year-olds. 34% of them knew their address with a standard deviation of 4.5. Give a 95% confidence interval. So you would just take, for 95%, you'd have to take 34% plus 9%. There's our plus or minus 9%. You could leave it just like that if you wanted, or you could write that it's 43%, and on the lower half, it's 25%. So 25 to 43% is 95% confidence interval. What does it mean? It means that we are 95% confident that if we selected a 5-year-old he would know, or she would know, their address. Convert the following rectangular to polar. Sorry, I didn't see that slide now. So convert rectangular to polar. So remember, this is X and this is Y. So go from XY to polar. I got to get to an R and a theta. If you want, go ahead and draw it up. -2, 2. We got to find the length of that pole. And we got to find this angle right here. Well, if this is 2 and this is 2, this is a 45-degree angle right here because it's an isosceles right triangle. So it's a 45, which means to find R, we would take 2 squared plus 2 squared equals R squared. Take the square root Pythagorean theorem. So we have R equals the square root of 8, which is the same thing as 2 square roots of 2. Okay? That's R. Now to find theta, well, the 45-degree angle in the second quadrant here is either 135 degrees. I don't know, it doesn't say if it wants it in radians or degrees, so I'll do both. Or it is 3 pi over 4 radians. It says convert the following polar coordinates to rectangular. So to go from polar, which is R and theta, to an X and a Y, just remember that X is R cosine theta and Y is R sine theta. So I get 3 times the cosine of 2 pi over 3 and 3 times the sine of 2 pi over 3. Now cosine of 2 pi over 3, that's -1/2. So therefore the first number is a -3/2. 2 pi over 3 sine is square root of 3 over 2. So that's going to be 3 square roots of 3 over 2. Done. Write the following using summation notation. So it's the summation. Now, what is happening here every time? Looks like we're adding 5. So that's going to be 5n. But if I put 1 in here, I get out 5, not negative 2, so I need to subtract 7. From n equals 1, I have to figure out how many there are. So 5n minus 7 set equal to 63. Add the 7. You get 5n equals 70. 70 divided by 5 is 14. So this is up to 14. So there it is, summation notation right there. Explicit formula for arithmetic addition. So here we go, evaluate this guy right here. It's arithmetic. So I know I'm going to figure out how many terms there are, which is 16 over 2. Plug in the number 1 for the first term. Negative 3 times 1 plus 2 is negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Plus, plug 16 in. Negative 3 times 16. Negative 48 plus 2 is a negative 46. So negative 1 plus negative 46 is a negative 47. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 times negative 47. 8 times negative 47. Negative 376. Folks, we're done. That's it. Have a good one. Good luck on the test. We'll see you tomorrow.